Well, hi, I'm Diana Montford, the world's first transgender television journalist. And this is, yes, the Diana Montford Show. My guest is Ms. Nya Gregor Fleron, who has written a book called Kali's Gift, among other things. She is a Tantra Goddess. She is a body mirror healer. She is a web designer. And we are going to talk about Tantra, what it means and what it can do for you. What is Tantra?
Yes, what is Tantra? There's a lot of misconceptions and ideas about what Tantra is, and most people will think about sex when you talk about Tantra.
I always thought Tantra meant sex without orgasm. You just lie around and play with each other for 6 hours or something.
Yeah, but you do have orgasms and
after
ecstasy.
6 hours?
No, all the way through.
If you don't
it's
fall
like
asleep,
this
yeah.
Ongoing, joyful communion with the universe. And ecstatic, yeah. That's the goal anyway.
Well, you're also having sex.
You're also having sex, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's actually not. That's a small part of what Tantra is.
What is Tantra?
So Tantra. So if anyone knows about yoga, Tantra kind of is closely related to yoga. So yoga is like a science of poses you can do, and meditation techniques and pranayama, and there's even also a Bible, like what to eat, like there are all these instructions or guidelines. So it's like a science, and so Tantra kind of is closely related to that. It uses a lot of the same techniques, but at the base of Tantra is this idea that the universe is divine. It was created not by mistake. It was created out of love and this creative force. And this force we can tap into. And it happens to be that the sexual force in us is one way.
It's the life force, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's what
how we
creates
create.
life. Yeah.
So it's a very great, easy way to access this love, this divine in us. But Tantra does not only focus on sex, though. It also, like yoga, focuses on how do you awaken energy in your body in other ways, like yoga poses, meditation techniques, pranayama. But it's all geared towards having this experience of life that's more vibrant and alive. And that's why it always spoke to me. Because since I was a kid, I loved being sensual. You know, I probably wouldn't have called it sexual, but it was like a sexual energy. And I think all kids are,
Yes, but if you're in the Catholic religion, they stamp it out.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's such a shame. Because it's also a sexual energy. It's very creative, and it's playful. It enables us to create, explore life. It's a wonderful energy in us, and there's nothing wrong with it. And that's why I loved when I found Tantra. I found this Tantra yoga school when I lived in Denmark.
And you are from Denmark.
Yes, I am from Denmark.
And that's unbelievable. Your language, your English is perfect.
Thank you.
It took me a long time to realize that you weren't from the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love English, so.
Good.
Yeah. So I started doing yoga in Denmark, and it was a tantric school, and so it was just this wonderful community, and they had no judgment. There was no judgment. It was all focusing on the heart. How can we relate to each other? Because Tantra, going back to what does Tantra mean? The word itself means weave or expand. So it's about relationships, like the world is always relating to itself. And at the base of the tantric philosophy is that there are two main forces in the universe. There's the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine.
Yes.
And they play together. It's like a dance. And when you call them, like going back to goddess, the goddess name is Shakti, and the god name is Shiva, and they do this dance together, and that's what creates all this.
Well, where does that leave transgender folk? Since we seem to be both male and female, masculine and feminine.
Well, we all have both forces in us.
Mm-hmm.
So you could say that. So if you're more masculine, you have more masculine energy, and you can even meet women that are, that have more But the idea is finding harmony in ourselves between the two, because we are a microcosm of the greater, the macrocosm. That's what we talk about. So you can look at it in any way you want, like your personal relationships, your relationship to God or the universe or being on this planet. There's always a relationship, and relating is what the heart does, and it's really fun when you start relating,
But as I've said, sometimes people are afraid to relate because they don't want to be hurt or they don't want to be thought insane. I mean, if you say to everyone, let's all be friends, maybe they think you're a little pathetic and a little weird and a little lonely, and and it's people want to save face somehow. They don't want to be embarrassed by caring more than others care about them, I think.
Yeah, but so why do you think that is?
Well, that may be my own insanity and neurosis coming out, but
yeah, because you're also relating to them. You're making assumptions of where they're coming from. Maybe they're not necessarily negative. Maybe they're just insecure, and it's their strategy. They think they have to protect themselves too.
What kind of family did you grow up in? Was it a traditional family or a very sort of postmodern, spiritual family?
No, not spiritual at all. Very kind of almost atheist, intellectual. My parents were, my dad's still alive. My mom passed away 10 years ago. Yeah, I'm sorry. So they're very intellectual, academic. Danes in general are very intellectual, I would say. Very few people go to church in Denmark. There's a certain culture there. They're very mental, Danes. And not like South Europe, where it's like the big arm movements and dramas, talking about your feelings, all that. In Denmark, it's like, well, okay, I'm not going to disturb you too much.
In Spain, it's, what do you mean you don't want me to disturb you? Don't you care? Wake up. We're going to talk now. Imbécil. Levántate, hijo de puta, que vamos a hablar, coño.
Oh, nice.
You're not the only one who's... Yeah.
Anyway,
I know other languages
so Danes
too.
are kind of the opposite. So it takes a little bit of time.
You seem startled there, yes. I'm a different person in Spanish.
I like it. I like it.
Well, thank you. I'm much more extroverted in Spanish because it's my first language. So.
Oh, yes. I did not know that.
Yes, this bracelet is driving me nuts.
I'll take it off.
Yeah. Coño,
it matches my dress, though.
Oh, well, here you go. I have a bunch of these. You want to take it? For real. It's yours. Keep it.
Oh, thank you.
So, anyway, I have more in... when I like something, I buy 2 or 3 of them.
Okay. Well, that's a good plan.
So, now, what...
So my family, my background. Yeah. So... not spiritual at all, and I grew up kind of being curious about. I probably wouldn't have named it spirituality when I was a kid.
What would you have named it?
I read books about healers, and I read books about like fantastic stories, supernatural stuff. So I was always curious. I was afraid of ghosts because my mom said she thought she saw a ghost, and so I believed. I've always kind of believed in the extraordinary.
I have too,
So coming to this school, it was like I found my language, or my family. I felt like everything in me could settle. I could I had this sexual part of me and this sweet part of me, and suddenly they could just kind of coexist. Before I felt there was this judgment that either I was a slut because I liked to flirt, and or
Oh, I was accused of that. Good God, yes.
yeah. And then I always had this innocent, not so much anymore, but when I was a kid, I looked very innocent. So people
You
had
still do,
projected
yeah.
onto me that I must be a nice girl. So but I played with boys a lot.
So did I.
But there's not. See, the thing is, and that's what I love about Tantra. Tantra believes that it's all valid. It's all energy. This universe is amazing. It's all energy. Even this table. I mean, and even the scientists
Sure, everything was
say
a
that
thought
now.
before
Yeah.
it was matter, yeah.
And it can all be used. So it can be used to tap into the divine. To that ecstatic, joyful, happy, enlightened. I don't use that word so much, but the idea that we can become much more. It's like we can tap into this great potential. We're not even using how many percent of our brain. We have, this body is amazing.
Well, some of us have amazing bodies.
Well, it's an amazing. It's amazing.
Whatever you look like, you have an amazing body, yes. It's the home in which your soul lives.
Yeah, and once you get past your fears and your judgments, you start feeling, and you're doing some of these exercises, you start feeling that you are a vibrating being.
Well, so many of us have a negative body image because fashion magazines tell us that if we're not 17, weigh 2 pounds, and are 7 feet tall, we're no good.
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
It's a problem if we want to believe in that, yes. But
they tell us if we don't believe it, then we just don't know what attractive is.
I know, but I think more and more people are getting out of that mindset.
I hope.
And there are more and more communities that are much more open and embracive and coming back to love.
Yeah.
But
isn't that bad
world
for?
has to learn to love more and
But
not be afraid of
the
it.
capitalistic system seems to encourage shallow, materialistic, appearance-oriented behavior, as opposed to being on a higher plane. That's it's a push me, pull you. It's the yin and yang of spirit versus materialism, and materialism has so many resources that it can pound the spirituality out of people when they're children, and they never regain it, I think.
Yeah, but we still have a choice. We still have a choice. We can insist that even if we have a job that we don't like very much, we can still insist on finding those things that are joyful about it, and we can still practice being just a little aware that, and put that little extra, maybe not love, but kindness into your day.
And now my microphone, yes. This is not my day for jewelry and other things. But, and do please keep that. It looks great with your dress.
Yeah.
It looks great on you, yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So,
yeah, I was going to say something.
say it.
Well, no, I forgot.
Oh, so did I. No, you say.
But we're talking about love and relationships. Yes, so I wanted to say, going back to the Shiva Shakti, the male and the female principle of the universe. So women, because we live in a very patriarchal
God
society,
knows,
right?
yes.
And we've done that for a long time, and that's the imbalance that's going on. That's why us women, we have a big responsibility. We need to be more woman, much more, and because we're
In the corporate world, they tell you that you really have to lose this emotionalism and femininity and be a man, even if you're female,
I know, but we still have to insist on that. We can work and have the mental capacity. We have the male energy in us. I'm not saying discard of that, but just practice being with women, be more. We actually represent love. The love force.
What do men represent?
They represent the thought. Like you were going back to the thought of the universe. So Shiva thought about the universe. He projected it. But then he was alone and there was nothing going on in it. So then Shakti represents energy. She's everything that is. So that means, going back to the love force that I was saying, how the love is created out of, or the universe is created out of love. So we have a natural instinct to love and bring that out.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to practice that more. And the best way we can do that is to have these Shakti groups where women come together and share our feelings, share who we are, do something that empowers us. We need to practice.
Sadly, a lot of women feel that if it doesn't involve men, it's a waste of time. What are you doing tonight? Oh, nothing, just hanging out with my girlfriends. They'd rather date Jack the Ripper than hang out with Mother Teresa,
Yeah,
you know?
in New York, it's very interesting. It's so segregated. But it's really important. The tantric communities speak of it a lot, that also men come together too, just to understand themselves better.
But when men get together, they seem to talk about how illogical and insane women are. Have you noticed that? Whereas, and women, I guess, talk about, men don't commit, and they don't.
We need to have our little narrative. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. But what happens is we nourish each other, so we actually give each other energy, and then we can come together with the man and actually have a restored sense of
completeness.
Yeah. Because we need to come together in relationships feeling whole, not like the other one is going to fulfill.
Well, that's such a problem. So many people just dump their lives into a loved one's lap and say, "You're my lover, fix my life."
Yeah.
And who can fix anyone's life? No one can fix.
We need to empower each other.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I share this with everybody I meet. Share it with women. Like, we really gotta have the courage.
To do what?
To love.
But as I keep saying, so many people are afraid of getting hurt,
Yeah, but what if you trust that your heart, it might get broken, it might feel a little bad, but you
sometimes men, and no doubt women, like to play with people and hurt you just to amuse themselves, which is not fun,
Yeah, but I think Tantra also talks about resonance. Have you heard about it's like the universe has all these radio tunes or vibrations, and you can tune into different levels depending on where you're at. So if you're sending out a specific signal that people are this way, and that you're going to get hurt.
I see. You attract those who would hurt you.
So the more you work on yourself, being aware of working through your own shit, because we all have our shit. Right?
Yes.
I think you will find that you start attracting different experiences, and that's all we can go by. It's experience life. Go out there and experiment, and that's what Tantra teaches too. It's great to have theory, but go and have an experience and see if it works. Try the techniques. See if they work for you. Find something that works for you. Something that really, where you feel empowered, you feel more vibrant, more joyful about your life.
How can people learn about Tantra? Do you teach a course?
No, I don't teach right now. I'd love to teach one day. My book, it's a novel, so it's fiction, but it does talk a little bit. It covers some aspects of Tantra. But there are lots of schools in the U.S. and not just the school that I was in Europe. And I'm sure if you look up on Google. But I'd love, if people want to contact me, I'd love to meet up and share what I know.
But isn't that dangerous, saying that? Maybe a rapist will see this and say, I want to meet you. That's terrifying. I used to be a method actress, for real.
Yeah.
You get into this thing.
Well, I think we'll transform.
You'll risk it,
We'll just sublime the energy.
Only nice people contact Nya.
Yes.
Nya Gregor Fleron. What's your website?
It's kalisgift.com. So KALISGIFT.com. And you can also contact me via the website. There's a contact form.
Mm-hmm. And regarding the Edgar Cayce Foundation, do they have classes in Tantra, do you think?
Yes, they do. They have a great class, Peter Orovitz, on Sundays, once a month. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, Edgar Cayce is also someone organization I work with.
Yes, which is at 241 West 30th Street.
Yeah, that's
second floor. Yes.
Peter Orovitz is an excellent teacher. I have so much fun.
I've never met him. Is he nice?
Maybe you want to come. It's once a month. That particular Tantra system, and that's the thing with Tantra. There's so many different schools out there.
Is it whatever you think it is?
Well, you can find whatever, takes you pleasures.
Whatever floats your boat.
Floats
yes.
your boat. Thank you. Yeah.
Whatever rings your bell.
Yeah, I like that one. Rings your bell. So, so he's part of something called Ipsalu Tantra, which is a Tantra school that's located in Florida.
Uh-huh.
So he's kind of representing, and that's a great school. Great school. I've met the teacher. He comes to the expo sometimes.
Oh, that's nice.
The health expo. So there are definitely lots of classes you can take in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So great. So I'm looking at the monitor and I'm thinking, I am so fat. I am so damn fat.
So how can you change that perception?
I can go on a diet. That's how.
Well, you can also start just sculpting, visualizing.
I could visualize thin until doomsday. I'd still be a fatso. I'm not so fat. See? I'm really not. But my face is fat. But anyway, on that shallow, self-absorbed note, why don't you stand up? You want to see a great figure? Come on.
Okay.
Oh, do you love it?
And I put my sparkly dress on.
Yes.
I thought that was very tight.
And I put I'm a fat person black dress on. What can I say? And I'm not so fat. Look,
No,
see?
you're not.
Here, see? I'm not. I'm really
Wonderful.
not.
And in the tantric tradition, I'm actually too thin.
Oh.
They like voluptuous women much more.
Oh, I'm going to go into Tantra. Yes, good. I won't go on a diet. I'll become tantric. Yes. Ooh, good. Ladies, all I have to say to you is Mae West, Marilyn Monroe, in her later films, these ladies were big and they were considered sexy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Goddess.
Sexy is not about your size.
Right.
It's about your joy, and sexiness comes from within, and it's like this juiciness, just wanting to be shared.
I want to share my juice with everyone. Anyway. Yes.
Okay, I'm blushing now.
I used to be able to. That was a long time ago. But anyway. Callie's gift.
Yes. It's a great.
And it's by Ms. Why am I coughing?
I don't know, is there something you need to say?
I want a cigarette? No.
Yeah.
Do you recommend Tantra for everyone?
That's a good question. I would recommend it. It comes in there's different ways of practicing it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely yoga is for everyone. And meditation, yes.
Even if someone is disabled, can that person do yoga?
Yeah, there's certain poses. I mean, depending on where the disability is.
Or very elderly, can they do chair yoga?
Yeah, there's definitely and what I've also found in my life is movement is so good for me to move. I dance a lot. I love dancing because that brings out all this vibrant energy in me.
Yeah.
So I would recommend just dancing and not thinking about how you look, but just feeling get into your body. Just feel, this is an amazing place to be, when you let go of your mind stuff, obviously. And to let go of your mind stuff, get into your body. Is that really? And dancing is really good. But yoga also. Yoga definitely for everybody.
I have a theory that people years ago didn't have to go to gyms because they did social dancing and that was their exercise.
Yeah. And they were out in a field, or they were...
Exactly. They didn't hop in the car to go to the mall. They went to Main Street. They walked to it. And then they went from shop to shop buying stuff and carrying it.
Hello to everybody.
And talking and stopping and yes.
Yeah, because that's also your sexual energy. Just that you're social, that we're interacting. Then that gets your energy going. So
Well, see, in the Catholic religion, they tell you if you start to feel that, stop it immediately because that's bad. Sex is bad, they tell you.
Yeah.
Except with priests, of course. So, I mean, that is...
Yeah, well, that's why there's that problem.
Yes, and...
They're not recognizing that we are sexual beings.
Exactly, yes. So, anyway, now, if you had one thing to say to people about Tantra and how it can help them, what would you say? And make it fast.
Yeah, I know. Make it fast. Just, Tantra can help you just feel more alive, and that's just worth so much.
Yes.
And the more alive we are, the more we're going to change this world. The more happy people are, the happier people are, the better.
Okay. My guest has been Ms. Give your website one more time.
KalisGift.com, KalisGift.com.
And if you want to know anything about Tantra or body mirror healing, you may contact Nya Gregor Fleron at KalisGift.com. I'm Diana Montford. This has been the Diana Montford Show. You know I love you a lot. Even the love of a fatso like me is worth something, right? Oh, thank you. I'm not so fat. I'm just pudgier than I'm used to being. But anyway, which I will either get thin or get comfortable being pudgy, one or the other, you know. But anyway, I think I'll just get comfortable. Why not? Easier. Where's the ice cream? No. Okay, so I love you a lot. Even if no one else loves you, I love you. You know you matter to me. I don't care what you look like. I don't care about anything. I just love you a lot. And I'll see you next time. Love you a lot.